Hello and welcome to Damnable Delvings, where I delve into horror media. Today's episode is a short one. I recently popped into my local town and went to a little local secondhand bookshop to purchase a few, to see if I can find any horror novels of the kind that you would find in paperbacks from how kind of 80s, 70s horror novels. And I managed to get a few little bits and bobs, which I'm quite pleased of, so I'm here to present those to you now. The first novel I found was by John Farris, and it's called Scare Tactics. I believe this is a collection of 5 novellas. It's 5 mind-freezing examples of John Farris's psychopathic imagination. Welcome to his world, but enter with care. Peter Straub likes it. £2.50. Can't complain about that, can you? This was published in 1988 originally, and this edition is from 1990. It's got a teddy bear on the front being stabbed through the chest by a dagger into a gravestone. Next we have Shattered Lullabies, £1.50. It's by Morton Reed, of whom I have never heard, but I do love the lurid cover of a cot with a scary bird lurking overhead. This one is Melanie had always prided herself on being a good mother, even if she had not, as her husband kept telling her, being the ideal wife. We've all been there. And then it gets really grim, unfortunately. She has an 8-year-old daughter and a baby, and then she finds the baby dead one morning. So that's a lovely start to a book. And then apparently her court-appointed psychologist thinks that something unbelievable and scary is what actually caused it. So we'll find out if it was something unbelievable and scary, if it was in fact the 8-year-old child, what done it. Next I have Inheritance by Owen Brooks, of whom I have never heard. Nobody knew whose child he was, or did they? He had been left behind unknown and wanted until the Woodfords took him for their own, until the summer lady wanted him for her own. Even his powers took him even from himself. Actually says, until his powers took him even from himself. It makes slightly more sense if you read it properly. The other children had powers, but to fight the evil, she had to have his inheritance. This is I think a 1990, this one? Oh no, slightly later, 1994, this particular edition. But still, it's still got that good 80s feel to it. Oh yeah. And finally, in terms of the old books, I have this. The first edition of Darkness Comes by Dean R. Koontz. I have read almost everything that Dean R. Koontz wrote in the 70s and 80s. I read Dean R. Koontz repeatedly in the 90s and loved them, even though they were, let's be fair, quite samey. But I don't think I've read this one. Who is more foolish, the child afraid of the dark or the man afraid of the light? Baba Lavelle is a stranger in New York, a stranger with a mission to break the mafia stranglehold on the city's drug traffic and to take it over himself. He has no guns, no army of hoods, no friends in high places. He doesn't need the conventional weapons, for he has the power, capital P, magical, ancient and horrifyingly brutal. The power that thrives on darkness. It says the word darkness in the title, so it's linked together. I read somewhere that Dean R. Koontz's novels are more expensive if they're signed, and they're worth even more if they're signed by Stephen King, which apparently is a fact that Dean R. Koontz is very angry about. I don't know how true that is, but that is what I heard. I also have one more novel that I picked up, and this is a new novel. It is All Hallows by Christopher Golden, which I think kind of fits, because although it's a new novel, it is apparently written to feel like an 80s horror novel, and it is set in the 80s, so I'm looking forward to reading that. It says on the back, it's Halloween night, 1984, in Coventry, Massachusetts, and 2 families are unravelling. The Barbosas have opened their annual Haunted Woods attraction in the forest behind the house they're about to lose. That's a bit Goonies, isn't it? The Sweeneys are fighting about alcoholism and infidelity on the front lawn. Sounds like my street. Up the street, a high school senior is about to have her secrets exposed, while down the street the truth about Ruth and Zach Burgess turns out to be even more horrifying than the rumours even were. And all the while, 4 children who do not belong are walking door to door. Children in vintage costumes with faded, eerie makeup. Children who seem terrified and who beg the neighbourhood kids to hide them away to keep them safe from the cunning man. But with families falling apart and the community splintered by bitterness, who will save the children of Parmenter Road? All Hallows, the one night when everything is a mask. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So, that's everything I picked up today. I did also place a little order with a company called awesomebooks.co.uk for a few items, and that should be arriving soon, so hopefully I'll have a little video showing off what bits and bobs I got from them. Until next time, my new friends, stay creepy.